I just read an article just now. I just read an article that Neil Druckmann said that they are thinking about making a Last of Us 3. He didn't say for sure he was, but I know he has his hands full trying to do that intergalactic game. Uh, I'm gonna try that game out. I'm not on the hate train with Neil Druckmann. He is what he is, and I just don't. Uh, I'm really trying to get away from that stuff. I just want to try to play these games. Now I had another one is I always wanted to like make another Last of Us Part 3, but I don't want them to go into all the love making scenes and that you know Ellie lost her girlfriend because Ellie went and tried to you know in the second game, she went back after Abby, and then when she found Abby, Abby was like a fraction of what she was because she wasn't all beefed up. But I wondered, I often looked at they was living in a like a apocalyptic area, where everything was ravaged. How did that girl get so jacked up? She was jacked. But anyway, I played that game, and the game was cool, man. But I didn't keep the game. I got rid of it. I only got Last of Us because Last of Us is. It's a game that people turn me on to. Because everybody said, well, if you like Uncharted, you should like Last of Us. So, yeah, man, I said, after playing Uncharted, man, I can't get into it. So it took me a while to get into Last of Us. And, man, when I played that game, I fell in love with it. But just the fact that he's even mentioning it, I mean, you know, I didn't get into the series that's on Netflix. I mean, that's on HBO Max. But uh, I I think I bought the first season, but I think I took it to Goodwill and give the season away because I just didn't like. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. But the second season I didn't even watch at all. But he said that he said that when they was interviewing him in this article I just read, it said something about he was thinking about trying to maybe go back and make a Last of Us 3 and then a Jak and Daxter. Man, that would be awesome. And another Uncharted. Here's my pitch for Uncharted. I like to see Nathan Drake's daughter get somewhere and him and his, Nathan Drake and his wife, which is, they have to go try to find their daughter because their daughter's in trouble. That would be a great story. You know, Nathan Drake, like 18 years later, he's a little older looking. His wife's older looking, but still looks good. But you know how you age. You know how some people age and they look better as they age because they took care of themselves or something. Nathan Drake has to come out and his wife says, I'm going with you and it's my daughter too. We got to rescue our daughter. We got to find out and then now they got to go through all this stuff to try to find her daughter. And what did she get into? And just have flashbacks of when she was interested in what he was doing. And maybe there's this treasure that he never went after. So she wanted to get out there and he was like telling her like, oh, I don't want you to do that. I never did go see if that treasure's for real. And she decided to go off and get it. Oh, be a great story, man, because he has a daughter. Left off with a daughter. Anyway, that's my little pitch. Last of Us 3, my little pitch would be somebody with Ellie is like, let's just say hypothetically, Ellie does really lose his woman, and she's involved with another woman, and she probably that's her new love. And then Ellie finds her, and Ellie finds her, and the child that she had with the guy is a little older, and Ellie sees what she missed out on. And then when she finds her, she sees the other lover, which is possibly another woman knowing Neil Druckmann. It'd be cool if it was a girl, though. I mean, it'd be cool if it was a guy, and Ellie would realize that she lost it. But you can see that that woman that was in love with Ellie would still have some, you could wrap all that in the story. And then to tie Abby into the story, you can see Abby in that at the end of Last of Us 2, where she was, took that little that little, when Abby was trying, when Abby put that little kid in the canoe and drove off after they had that fight, and it shows what they're doing and what Abby's doing and what affected Abby after that, after losing all her friends and all that, and what is her and that little badass dude, that little badass kid that had that bow and arrow. That dude, that would be great. And somehow something happens where Joel's brother's wife, I always thought she should play a better role, where she has to go and track down Ellie. She needs Ellie to do something because there's this major threat with the infected and somebody's using them as weapons or something. And so she says, I need you to help me, and I need you to pair up with Abby somehow. And she goes, I ain't gonna pair up with Abby, And she goes, Lord, you need her, and you need that little girl, and then I don't know. I don't think they ought to pull that love interest girl in there, but she could be in there. That's just my thing. And where her and Abby and them have. I want Joel's brother's wife to be in this one, and they're all on this long mission, and they're gotta do all. That'd be a great story, and then that way they would have to work together, which would kick their ass, and then Ellie could just tell her, she could ask Ellie, why'd you let me go? And Ellie can tell her, like, I wanted to kill you. I can't stand you. I can't stand what you did to my family. And then she could say, well, I can't stand what Joe did to my family. You don't understand. And you could get that fleshed out more. And then you could find out what the story is, that they all three need each other. But I want Joel's brother's wife to be front and center, because I always loved that girl. And I always thought that I'm talking about in the game. I always loved that girl. I always liked the way she was rough around the edges and stuff. And I was just like, plus she was a kind of like an attractive lady, but she could, like, I love a woman that can get her fingernails dirty and kind of like just throw on some jeans and some sweats. And that's what Joel's brother in the game, to me, represented. I love chicks like that. I don't like drop dead gorgeous women. It looks like they don't want to even get their fingernails dirty. You always got to have makeup. Women like that don't turn me on. All the slip up, all this makeup, just looking good all the time. All the time. I can't stand it. I need chicks to throw on a sweatshirt, some jeans, man, and then, she just, hey, I'm going to the store, she puts her hair back, and she sees me working on a car or something, she hands me a wrench. She ain't afraid of her damn fingernails breaking and shit like that. That stuff irritates me, these long-ass fingernails. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's what I would like Last of Us 3 to have something like that, where they all three need each other. But I want Joel's brother's wife. And I want Abby, Ellie, Joel's brother's wife, and I just want that story to be more fleshed out, and where they need each other. But anyway, I just thought I'd drop that, you guys. I was just reading that article. I don't know how old that article was. I just sat down, man. I just like, So, problem with that is this is 2025. They still working on Enter the Galactic. And after they get done with that, shoot, man, that's a lot of time they have to put in there. I'm quite sure they have people working on different various things so they could wrap that up and then go into another one. But here's what I would do. I would do a Jak and Daxter after Intergalactic. A Jak and Daxter for like $40. Just a short game. Like a 12-hour game, Jak and Daxter. And then after that, charge like $40. And then go into another Uncharted with Nathan Drake's being like 18 years older or maybe 15 years older, and his daughter's 16 going on 17 or something like that, and she got a couple friends that went off to this treasure that Nathan Drake always talked about but he never was able to do, and then his wife's like, that's my daughter too, I'm going with you and stuff, and then somehow, I don't know, ask Sully's old ass to go out and help. That would be pretty cool, man. Sully'd be like, man, I'm getting too old for this. I love that. I love those characters. Who else was in there? There was somebody else I liked in there, too. I like Nadine. I thought Nadine was hot. Whew, man, that girl's fine, but she was obviously a video character. But I remember when I seen her, I said, "Dang, man, you Nadine." But no, I first played Last of Us. You know, it was new to me because I was a big Uncharted guy. I remember when I seen that reporter get with Nathan Drake. I did say, man, that little blonde is cute. But I didn't think he was gonna fall in love with her. I thought Nadine, because Nadine can fight, man. She can get down. But then Nathan Drake's uh you know, that reporter, she was cool, man. I'm glad he married her. I can see why he was married. She is a little bit more feminine than Nadine, but not Nadine. It's not Nadine is the black chick. I'm talking about the brunette. I forgot what her name was. I forgot the brunette's name, but I liked her. Nadine is the black chick. Yeah. Nadine is a bad chick though, man. But I'm trying to think of the two chicks that was in the game called I ain't gonna think of the name. Anyway, the girl that Nathan Drake was with first, and then she ended up making, you know, the brunette. I liked her. So anyway, I would like to see that being made second, and then go into Last of Us 3. But here's the problem. Do you know how long it would take to freaking make a game? Hell, this is 2025. That means that all these games that they're talking about making, and you're talking about 2030 something. Think about that. Now, you know, I mean, wow. That's a lot of games, man. And that's a lot of time. But anyway, I just thought I'd talk about that. And by the way, I want to put this in there. I'm thoroughly enjoying Star Wars Outlaw. I think it's Star Wars Outlaw. Star Wars Outlaw. Yeah, man, that game is. I've been playing that game, and I've been watching. I've been catching up on Halloween, but I got 2 more Halloween movies to watch. But that Star Wars Outlaw is pretty. That game is good, and I'm enjoying that game. It just goes to show you that if you judge for yourself, you probably be like, sometimes I just need to go into these video games and just play them and quit listening to a lot of the stuff on YouTube, because YouTube is wearing me out anyway. So anyway, I just thought I'd drop a quick video about gaming news. I just read that. I just happened to sit down and I was like, wow, I was getting ready to read my scriptures actually, and I looked and I said, whoa, Neil Druckmann. I know a lot of people don't care for him, and I can't say I don't like him. I can't say I do like him, because I'm not that video kind of guy where I grew up and I was playing video games. I'm a casual player. But, you know, I can see why people don't care for him. And don't get me wrong, I was really into that Last of Us. And I'm not going to lie. I could lie to you guys if you want me to. You want me to? I did not care for Ellie being gay at all. I just thought he should just kept Ellie a straight chick. And then I didn't like that. But I still like Ellie. And, yeah. Anyway, God bless, take care. But that's some enlightening news. But like I said, the problem with that is, you're talking, this is 2025. They're still working on Intergalactic. Then they're going to probably take a break. And then he's probably got people working on multiple projects. So that's one thing. But they know how to tell a story. You can talk about Neil Druckmann all you want, but he dropped the ball on that Last of Us season 2. I didn't even watch it. I seen stuff in there that just disturbs me, you know. So I couldn't watch it. But you know, you got to be optimistic. Just like that Intergalactic, the Prophet, whatever that thing's called. I'm a little worried about that chick, man, looking all rough and shaving her head and all that kind of stuff. She just, I don't know. I'm going to give it a whirl, you know. You got to wait and see what it's like. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to jump to conclusions. Plus, I'm not that kind of a gamer. You know, there's gamers out there that just, they get on that hate train. And I'm late to the video thing because I'm a casual player. So I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Just like I got games that I'm playing that I sit there and I'm like, this game is not that bad like most people say. And yes, Star Wars Outlaw has been patched and upgraded, and it's got DLCs now. And I'm really loving that. I love that world. And man, I was a part in there where I was actually, uh, man, you guys see my little Halloween cup over there? I got that through Amazon, man. Went to Walmart and got those two back there. Got my Halloween thing going on. Got my Halloween over there. Check that out. See that over there? Pretty slick, man. I want to make sure I get it all in there. Oh. There we go. I think it's all in there now. But anyway, God bless. Take care. I'm getting my little Halloween on, but just thought I'd give you that little information to because y'all know I like to play video games. Y'all know I like to watch movies, and like I said, if he's gonna do what he said, he's just talking. This ain't no for sure thing, but I would do Jak and Daxter, and then I would do Uncharted, and then I would do Last of Us 3. But that's just me though, because we haven't had a Jak and Daxter in a long time. And I remember my sons playing Jak and Daxter. God, it's such good memories walking in there and those little kids, man. The house is so quiet now because my kids are all grown. They're all doing their own thing. They're all grown, got kids themselves, except for 2. 3's got kids and 2 doesn't have kids. So, but I still remember coming in and watching them play them games. And when you're a father working and you're trying to make ends meet and trying to be a responsible dad, you're watching them play and you're just looking. But you can't play like they play because you're working all the time. And I was trying to stay fit and work out. And I was trying not, because I used to be overweight when I was a kid. So I just ain't about putting on weight, But anyway, I still remember him playing Jak and Daxter. And I just can't understand why they never tried to give that a whirl. But it might be a company thing. Because the company, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. Neil Druckmann is in charge of that. But I don't know if it was Insomniac that made, Resistant Fall of Man. But I'd love for them to tackle that back on. Or just give us a Resistance Fall of Man remastered or rebuilt from the ground floor. They ain't gonna do that. Man, that game is so good. Love that game. I still remember my kids playing that Resistance. One kid loved Gears of War, which was my young son, Brandon. My middle son, Anthony, he loved Resistance. And my son, Tyler, my oldest son, Tyler, likes games like, it's those kind of games where it's like, that Expedition 33 where they are standing around and they hit pow and then the other one hits pow and then they shows them on the side and you use these things. He always played those type of games. I used to watch him play those games and he would play them games, man. That man does not play many games like he did, but he got a lot on his plate though. All right, you guys. I just wanted to share some video news. I thought that would, I was like, look pretty. I thought, wow, man, I ain't gonna lie. Man, if they would announce that there's going to be a Jak and Daxter, if they would announce there's going to be a freaking Uncharted, Nathan Drake's had to come out of his retirement. Him and his wife had to go find out what happened to their daughter and a couple of their friends, man, because they done jumped into more than what they can handle, and Nathan Drake has to get him and his wife, and maybe get Sully, and maybe, I don't know who else they could get, but, and then Last of Us Part 3. Just do a better story. Don't get into the love-making thing with women being with men and men with men. Get into the story. Get into the infection. Get into the, just what is going on, what's going on and all that. Just get in it that way, man, you can have some stuff sprinkled in with some attractions and stuff like that, as far as people having feelings for each other, but don't go too deep in that. Let's get a really good, compelling story, maybe come up with a cure, and wipe them bad boys out at the end of the game, man, man, I'm getting excited. But yeah, like I said, man, this is 2025. You might not see these games till 2033 or 2035. Hell, some of us gonna be around then, you know what I'm saying? Those type of games I really enjoy though, to be honest with you. I ain't lying, I beat. This is so weird, man, because I beat Last of Us, both games. I beat Uncharted, all of them. I beat all the Tomb Raider games. Other games I struggle playing. There's games I like. I actually get mad because I cannot finish them like I want. And plus, life gets in the way, man. And you have to work, and you have to get. When I have a chance to work overtime, and I want to work overtime, because man, when you work in a factory and you've been there for a while, you make a pretty good. You make. I could always use extra money for as hourly, but it's okay. And I'm thankful too, because I could all. Instead of complaining about what you don't have, be thankful about what you do have. Instead of saying, I wish I could make this amount of money per hour, but I'm not thankful about this amount of money I'm making per hour. You need to be thankful, period. You could be sick, terminally ill. Anyway, I'm just saying. So like I said, the work gets in the way, and then you got to work out, you got to stay fit, you got to ride your bike, you got to do stuff with family members once in a blue moon. You just can't sit down and play video games like you once said. Even y'all in y'all 30s and 40s can't play video games like you did when y'all used to live with your mom and dad and come home and go in your room and play video games all day, and then they call your name, so it's time to eat dinner. The only thing you had to do is get on the bus and go to school. Yeah. Or you was in college and you was smoking weed and partying, chasing girls, and girls chasing guys, or whatever else was going on in college, and you had time to play these games, but we just don't have that type of time anymore. So, but anyway, this has been long enough, but I'm excited, but not like that. I'm excited due to the fact that he's just talking about it. It is a company, and the company is all about making money. If you're sitting up there saying that I can make a big chunk of change if I make another game, then why not try to make another game and because you're the company. That's what you do. That's what you do. Don't leave no money on the table, man. If you think you can make a big chunk of change bringing the game back like Jak and Daxter, like I said, I'll make Jak and Daxter like maybe a 12, 14-hour game. That way we know when we get off work, a lot of us that's Jak and Daxter fans, we know we ain't got that much time we got to invest in it. If you charge like $35, $40 for that game instead of 70, it might sell well. Then work on Uncharted. Then work on Last of Us. That way, while you're working on these games, you got other people working on other things, trying to come up with a compelling story for both Uncharted and Last of Us. I'm late to The Last of Us. Like I said, only game I kept was Last of Us. Even though I remember taking that game to Goodwill, and I remember looking at it, and I was like, man, I took Last of Us 2. I took Last of Us 2. I took both God of Wars. I took both Spider-Mans, and I took Ghost of Tsushima. I took all those games and dropped them off of Goodwill. I remember there's this young cat, man, when he looked down at them games, I said, I bet that kid's going to even keep those, or he ain't even going to let them people know that he... So a lot of people probably say, I would have sold those, man, and put them on eBay. It has no value to me anymore, so I just give them away. Now I watch my nickels and dimes because it's kind of cool, man, because a lot of times, man, now I look at all these video games and all these movies, man, and I'm like, Vic, you could save a lot of money because you could play all these games and just finish them. And... Black Friday's coming up, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I like Teeny Tiny Wonderland. I was late to the Borderlands series. But I'm interested in getting that Borderland. I'm not going to buy it, though. But what I am saying is that, what if they have a nice Black Friday sale? So, see, there's some games, man, I feel like I should put on digital. But see, these digital platforms, man, getting a little shady, man. That's why I think you should go physical, But, yeah, I got rid of all those games, man. I remember having those games, and I took it to Goodwill. I said, man, whoever worked in that store. You know what Goodwill does, though? When you drop Goodwill off, you got a place where you drive up, and then they meet you. They open up the door, and they see what you got, and you give it to them. They take everything. I always tell them when I walk in the door, I say, you get some good stuff. I just don't have no use for it. So I'm living a very plain and simple life. I mean, I want it basic. And if something was to happen to me, I would want my kids to walk in here and go, whew, glad Dad didn't keep very much. It ain't going to take us long to get rid of this crap in here. They might look at each other. I don't know how my kids are going to be. I'm just saying that day will come one day. they're going to look at each other and say, you want these movies, man? And one of them say, I'll take them damn movies. And so you want them video games? One of them say, I'll take this one. You want this one, that one, whatever, you know what I mean? So I won't be around. So I want it real simplified if I pass away. I just want them to walk in and go like, I'm glad Dad wasn't a hoarder. I'm glad he didn't have me. He just got, well, if you go in the kitchen, you only got like one plate, one saucer, and one medium-sized saucer, one bowl, a couple of cups and stuff. They'd be like, damn, Dad got rid of everything after we moved out. Yeah, I did, because I ain't got no use for all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to the God of War and all that, man. I looked at those games when I dropped them off at Goodwill, and I'm like, man, those games are good. Ghost of Tsushima, I tried to play it. I thought it was a great game. I just can't get into it. That's why I'm just leaving off on this note that there's games out there. I think, Spider-Man and Miles Morales, man. I think both those games are good. I just don't have the patience for all that. Go over here and go over there. Uncharted don't do that. And one game that does do that, but I for some reason I can get through it is the one with the chick that's got the mechanical dinosaurs, Aloy. That one, I played both those games and beat both those games, but there is a lot of, go over here and do this and go over there and go. There is a lot of that. But man, I love that, the mechanical dinosaurs, and I love that story. And I'm excited to see what kind of game they're going to come out on that third one too, because I know they're going to make a third one. But I hope they don't tackle I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, you guys, be careful out there. A lot of stuff going on in the world out here, man. Seriously, man. Whew, these last 3 days, it's just been crazy. So be safe out there. God bless and catch you next video. And like I said, none of this is set in stone. I just thought I'd drop some video news. But, yeah. Man, can you imagine Jak and Daxter coming out again? Ooh, Lord, on the PS5. The PS5, man. I got the PS5 base sitting right over there. You can't see it, but it's sitting right over there. Disc and all. And, whew, I would, man. Boy, what are you talking about? I'd be the first. Oh, man. No. Ooh. Man, come on. I buy that game so fast. And, like I said, you can say what you can say about Neil Druckmann and all that stuff and all that. Like I told y'all, this is a longer video than I want it to be. I'm late to all this online stuff. And actually, this past 6-7 months, I've been noticing I'm just really getting to the point where I want to keep everything kind of quiet in here, I got a lot of movies in here I haven't watched. I got a lot of series that I hadn't even opened up. And maybe I need to start buying a couple of, fantasy novels and sci-fi novels and stuff like that just to get back to, I'm just getting away from all this network stuff, TV, online, social media, stuff like that. So anyway, I just thought I'd share some video news. We'll catch you next video. God bless. Be safe out there.